What's up, everybody? It's Jared with Capture the Magic, and there's lots of changes that have been going on at Disney World with lands closing, new lands being built, and in a surprise move today, Disney announced another thing coming to the parks, and this one at Hollywood Studios, and I think this one's actually a really good thing, and that is that the Walt Disney Studios is going to replace Star Wars Launch Bay in Hollywood Studios. So we're going to go through this article and read through it about what this is, and a little bit of a throwback to kind of what used to be in this area, as Launch Bay is kind of weird now that you have Galaxy's Edge, where you have this other area where you can meet some characters, but you can't meet them in Galaxy's Edge. I always felt that was weird once Galaxy's Edge was open, but we'll read through this from Blog Mickey and talk about it here. So it says, Walt Disney World has just announced plans for Animation Courtyard and the Star Wars Launch Bay at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Somewhat surprisingly, Disney is going back to its roots for the area, creating an experience called Magic of Disney Animation. Additionally, the entire Animation Courtyard area will be renamed and repurposed to the Walt Disney Studios. So Walt Disney Animation Studios in Burbank, California is a place of pure magic artists go in, beloved characters and films come out. Now imagine stepping inside those iconic walls and seeing Disney animation characters leap off the screen and into our world. That was the heart and premise of the Emmy Award-winning short film Once Upon a Studio, and soon it will inspire a brand new experience at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Housed in a building reminiscent of the iconic Roy E. Disney Animation Building, this upcoming family experience, the magic of Disney animation, is getting ready to bring the wonder of animation to life like never before. And it says, new adventures under the Sorcerer Hat. In 2026, the current home of Star Wars Launch Bay will transform into a place where kids at heart can laugh, draw, dream, and explore animated new experiences. Topping the building will be Mickey's iconic Sorcerer Hat, which they used to have a massive Sorcerer's Hat in Hollywood Studios in front of the Chinese theater there. I actually kind of used to like that. It was weird. It didn't make any sense, really, but I kind of, since it's gone, I have kind of missed that being there. It says, our story in this newly reimagined space begins as the animators have temporarily stepped away, but the building is still buzzing with activity as the characters have come to life and they're ready to play. Inside, you will interact with and explore silly takes on the iconic Disney Animation headquarters, including the many different studio departments. Only this time, some of our favorite pals have taken over to create the fun adventures. The playful and interactive moments will be around every corner. You'll see portraits come to life before your eyes, just like they did in Once Upon a Studio. You'll find inspiration with a short film, says with a twist, of course, and you'll even pencil in some time to learn how to draw your very own character sketch. This is the thing. I remember going as a kid to Hollywood Studios, which was, I think, MGM at the time, but having that animated area there, because I've always loved drawing as a kid. I was obsessed with it. So I loved that spot there. And I still like when they do those, you have a Disney animator and you draw with them. They have that right now in Animal Kingdom all the time, or at least they have in the past. And they'll do it for Food and Wine at Epcot. And I'm glad to see this is actually coming back, because I think that's a good thing. I think that Launch Bay it's run its course. I don't think I've wondered for a long time what they're going to do with that area. And that was an area where a lot of people thought that the Monsters, Inc. land was going to go. And I had said the whole time that I didn't think it was going to go there, because not only that building there, but behind it is a whole bunch of cast member break room and offices and things like that. So I never thought they would take that out, but I'm glad to see this is being turned into something else here and kind of a throwback to what used to be there. Our youngest animators to be can explore the Drawn to Wonderland playground filled with oversized flower garden with musical instruments, a Mad Tea Party playset, and a Tulgey Wood exploration area, all inspired by the original Alice in Wonderland concept art from Disney legend Mary Blair. It will be the perfect whimsical indoor play area for little ones to grow curiouser and curiouser. All of these places to explore and create, and we haven't even talked about character greetings, and there's lots of them. The whole family will be drawn to all the creative ways to play together when the Magic of Disney Animation opens at Disney's Hollywood Studios next year. It says the pixie dusting from Sorcerer's Hat will extend far beyond the walls of the Magic of Disney Animation, as the entire courtyard is reimagined into the Walt Disney Studios, taking inspiration from several buildings found in Burbank. The special nod to the legendary Walt Disney Studios lot includes our version of the Studio Theater, which will continue to house The Little Mermaid and Musical Adventure. And over at the soundstage, you'll find a fresh Disney Junior show. While exploring the studio grounds and courtyard area, families can take a break to play, relax, or snack on tasty treats under lush trees, and make sure to look around too. You never know who you might see playing in the branches, soaking up the sun, or digging in the grass. Since Disney animation artists and Walt Disney Imagineers are working hand in hand to bring the wonder and nostalgia of Disney animation films to the whole courtyard in new and immersive ways families will love. It says, as we prepare for the transformation, Animation Courtyard and Disney Junior Play and Dance will close beginning September 25th of this year. During this time, guests will still be able to go under the sea with Ariel the Little Mermaid, a musical adventure, and enjoy the exhibits and film presentations at Walt Disney Presents. Now we have a little bit more about some of the changes that are going to be taking place here. The new studios lot section of the park will see some work on the existing buildings and the demolition of the Hollywood Studios archway, among other changes. To support the work, Animation Courtyard, the Star Wars Launch Bay, and Disney Junior Play and Dance will all be closed starting September 25th. So some of the biggest changes come in the form of reimagining the facade of the Star Wars Launch Bay and the demolition of the Hollywood Studios archway. So it looks like the archway there is going away and making, I guess, more of a seamless transition into this area. Like I said, I think this is a good thing. I'm actually pretty on board with this. I always enjoyed, when I was a kid, the animated place where you could go in there and kind of learn from, animators and things. So given our daughter is very much into art, I think she will love this area. And honestly, I still like doing that stuff. A lot of this does seem like it's elements from the Play Pavilion that was scrapped at Epcot. Some of those elements maybe seem to be going in here. I think getting rid of Launch Bay makes a lot of sense, as it hasn't made any sense that it's still there after all these years of Galaxy's Edge being open. It never made a lot of sense that you had Galaxy's Edge and you had Star Tours, which I do like Star Tours. I don't want anything to happen to that. And then you got Launch Bay over here, which is characters like Darth Vader that you can meet that you can't meet in Galaxy's Edge. I hope on some level this maybe also could point to the fact that perhaps Galaxy's Edge will include all eras of Star Wars. I think that is such an easy fix for that land they could do. I have a lot of issues with Galaxy's Edge. I do not think it's a great Star Wars land, but something that would make it better would be not just including the sequel trilogy, but including prequel, original trilogy characters. You could actually go into a Star Wars land and meet Darth Vader.
I want more.
Or Han or Luke and these characters that they've kind of slowly been showing they're willing to do more in Galaxy's Edge. So I don't know if this means that potentially, but I do hope maybe this could highlight that is some changes coming to Galaxy's Edge. So given that this area has already been a place that, Disney Junior Dance, a lot of character meet and greets in here, it's already an area that's kind of for younger kids and younger families. And reinforcing that more here with this new studio lot, I do think it's a pretty smart move. And I like seeing them actually use this space for kind of what the throwback of this was, kind of back to the roots of Hollywood Studios or MGM Studios. Opening back up in 2026, I didn't say when, but I wouldn't assume that it's going to take much, time to really do this. And they can turn this around rather quickly. So out of all the changes Disney has made, a lot of it being very controversial about the Rivers of America going away, a lot of people are upset about Muppet Vision 3D going away. I don't think a lot of people are upset about changes in Animal Kingdom, because I do think this one is one I think most people will think this is a pretty good move. As Launch Bay, I don't know how heavily trafficked Launch Bay is. I personally haven't been to Launch Bay in years, so I don't know how many people go in there pretty regularly, but kind of utilize this space further for, younger kids, especially in Hollywood Studios, considering there's not a lot of rides or attractions necessarily that are geared toward kids. I mean, they have some, but I think making this area more for younger kids makes a lot of sense here, and an area where families can kind of hang out here. And again, I think having more character meet and greets in here, like I've talked about this summer with a lot more of the Cool Kids summer stuff that they're doing for a limited time, I think a lot of these things need to be part of the day-to-day park experience. I think you should be able to interact with more characters, more streetmosphere. And so I like seeing more of this, as I think that would help the park experience a lot, just being able to interact with characters a lot more. So I think it makes a lot of sense. You got the reintroduced, I guess, Little Mermaid show in here. Sounds like from what they're saying, there's going to be a new Disney Junior Dance show that's in here. And so our kids, as they get older, there's not as much drawn to this area necessarily, but I do think this is one where a lot of kids and families will enjoy. In terms of the things that Disney is currently building, you're talking about Monsters Inc. land, what's going into Frontierland, what's going into Animal Kingdom. Those things are not going to be done for years. So the fact that this one can be done by next year, I'm assuming they're going to try and get this done before the summer of next year, if I were to guess, but we don't know. We have no idea. I don't think they are saying when they think it's going to open in 2026, but I think this is something that they can do relatively quick, probably pretty cheap, and I think it actually can benefit Hollywood studios. So I think this is a very good move, and I would like to see more of this, kind of embracing the the traditions or what a lot of these parks were based on. No critiques from me, at least thus far. I think this sounds pretty good. So we'll have to wait and see more details on this and what other things we can expect here. But I guess if you want to go check out Launch Bay, you've got until September to do so. And then this area will be under more construction. So I guess there's going to be even more construction at Disney World, but this one won't take that long. It seems like maybe about a year or so. But either way, that's going to be it, though, for this video. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel, as we do lots of coverage here of Universal Studios, Epic Universe, Disney World, and pop culture. And let us know in the comments, what do you think about this change at Hollywood Studios? And do you think it's a good thing for the park? And until next time, we will see you in the parks.